Hello and welcome to Squid Pro Quo, a Squid Game podcast where there are only 3 rules. 1, a player is not allowed to stop podcasting. 2, a player who refuses to podcast will be eliminated. And 3, the podcast will be terminated if the majority agrees. I'm Sean.
And I'm Mike. And welcome everybody to the Squid Games.
The Squid Games.
The Squid
yeah, you're
Games.
all playing the Squid Game now that you've listened to the podcast. You are all in.
We've made it to the games.
Games.
That would have been a better introduction on the episode where they actually made it to the games. That would have been.
Yeah.
Hey, they can't all be winners. They can't all be winners. No, I can't do that one because that episode's out. So.
Okay. I mean, you could still. Fuck it. I didn't stop George Lucas.
That's true. I could add jizz.
You could add jizz.
I could add jizz to the Squid Games.
So, you know how we have
I'm not going to explain that. If you don't know the context of jizz, then I'm sorry. I'm not going to explain it.
You know how we have rules on the podcast?
We do have rules. We are rule followers.
We are rule followers, and this time, enemy of the podcast, Jib214,
Known enemy.
Known enemy of the podcast. I thought he had. Oh, no, that's for next episode. Just kidding. It says, read when you record episode 7. Can't say that. Jip is still the enemy of the podcast. Yeah. I was going to say he followed the rules, which, I mean, he did. He did ping me in it.
He did have an episode 6 blurb, but and I'm a little confused about it, but we can get to it when actually we get to that part of the episode that he's referencing.
Okay. I just need to make sure that ping doesn't disappear so I don't forget it next time. We did have in the Discord, Azzy responded to the happy Squid Games. If you want to share your thoughts on the podcast, tag them and put the spoiler stuff. And we do have their thoughts on the first few episodes here. Well, the whole season really, but in terms of the first few episodes, so they said on episode 1, they said, I thought the way you played Russian roulette normally was just go around till it shoots. Which is a very sad... I mean, I actually kind of thought that too.
See, I understand thinking that, but I don't think that's ever how the game was explained. But, if they don't, say that, I get going, oh, yeah, you just go until somebody dies. But I don't think that's the thrill of Russian roulette is you almost died. So, if eventually someone has to die, I don't know that a lot of people would play.
Are you speaking from experience?
Yes.
Okay.
I've never played Russian roulette. Sorry.
The only real exposure to Russian roulette I have is the scene in the Call of Duty Black Ops campaign when your characters are POWs and forced to play Russian roulette. That's a pretty good scene in that game.
Okay, yeah, I don't remember that.
Also, in episode 1, 456 is Batman, which, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Episode 2, they'd say, you'd think 456 would have tolerance to the smoke they put in the cars by now, seeing as he's been through it 4 or 5 times.
True. Episode
3, talking about Squid Game has a bad habit of putting plants in the 001 spot, which I don't, I think maybe if they did it a 3rd time.
Yeah.
It would be too much, but I think it works.
Just wait till season 2 of the reality show where they do that.
Yeah. They also said, I love how we're getting a more inside view of the workers in a way. Said Thanos is a prick, but I love him. He's comedy relief throughout the whole show for me, and I love how he speaks English sometimes in the sub, which I agree. I do think my favorite parts about Thanos is whenever he just starts randomly speaking English.
Yeah.
Which I guess I don't know. Did you know he did that?
No, I do, because if you watch him speak, suddenly his lips will line up with what he's saying.
Yeah.
So yes, I did realize that, not right away, but and I did read these comments, but before that I realized I was like, wait, he actually just said that word. So
yeah.
He does it in this episode actually when he's attacking the YouTuber man. So
on episode 4, they said they love the part where 456 has a nightmare about the cookie, and instead of the triangle, it's some geometry dash level, which that's really good reference. And then episode 5, just I think, what we're all feel bad for the guy that got wrapped up with Thanos and his gang, and also the God's Lady is a bitch. They also shared their thoughts on episode 6 and 7. I will save the episode 6 thoughts until we get to it in the episode. And obviously, episode 7 is we haven't done that
seen
yet.
it yet. Yeah, we haven't seen it
yet. You want to do the email, and then I have one other thing to talk about before we get into the episode.
We got an email from our good friends, Kim and Landon, and it's after listening to episode 3. Hello, Squid Boys. Great recap, equally as fun as watching the show. Thank you so much. That's so kind of you guys.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Equally as fun?
Landon is right with you both on suspecting the captain. I'm oblivious, so I will wait and see.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely love the Lorenzo callback, and I believe you hit the nail on the head that the creators watched the challenge and are dragging Zoomers while also setting up for very different outcomes than seeing Trey and his mom playing ping pong in a Where Are They Now follow-up instead of being in a black box with a pink ribbon.
Oh, my God.
Landon mentioned something you said in a previous recap. If the producer wanted people to take the show as a message and not as entertainment, you'd think that he wouldn't introduce idiots like Thanos. How are we supposed to take this motherfucker seriously? LOL. I
think he just hates Gen Z.
Yeah. Well, I'll also say, yes, he has a message in this, but he's decided that the best way to deliver the message to people is through entertainment, right? It's not that it's not to be entertaining. It's that's how you deliver a message that you hope sticks with people is through entertainment. So Thanos has his place. I like Thanos.
And I would also say I think that the strength of this season isn't so much on that messaging. I think that the themes of the show were a lot stronger in season 1 than in this season, but I think where this season is really shining is the relationship between Frontman and Gihan.
Yeah,
I think that's really where a lot of the focus is.
We agreed that it was kind of weird Gihan was moving a lot in red light, green light, and may have deserved the red movement indicator, but don't think they would have killed him for the hell of it because the whole reason they brought him back was to entertain the VIPs. Oh, that's a good theory. I like that.
Yeah.
Showing how they shot people in red light, green light filled that plot hole, but you think a lot would be missed since they actually had to look for the numbers, and their numbers could have been blocked from their sight. That's true, but I think these are pretty skilled snipers here that are taking these guys out. Also, when Gihan announced he had played the games before and everyone thought he could lead them through the rest, he should have mentioned Tug of War and Marbles, where half would die anyway, or even Glass Bridge, where your fate isn't solely about your skill. That's true. He hasn't really... I mean, I guess when they revealed that the second game wasn't Delgana, he kind of just threw that out of the window of trying to help people because he's like, I don't know what the fuck's going to happen.
I don't know what the fuck to do. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And what is the deal with the 001 contestant number? Was that available for the frontman to take because 001 bid it in red light, green light? Or is 001 reserved for an elective planted player who wants to see it from the other side but is in no real danger from the guards? It's an interesting question.
It is a good question. My guess, without like any explanation given so far, would be 001 was one of the people that died in red light, green light.
And they just hope no one notices, right?
Yeah.
And then finally, if you're comparing season 2 to the elections, would that make Elon Musk the front man? Always with the overthinking, Kim and Landon. I guess he I guess he could be Elon Musk. I don't know.
I mean, it's possible.
Yeah, he's trying. I mean, the front man's not out there trying to buy people's votes with entering them for a lottery to win a Tesla or whatever.
I was gonna say, by the way, it was way more straightforward than that. It was literally just a cash.
Was it? It wasn't.
Yeah, it was literally just cash.
Yeah,
it was. Right. It wasn't even like an item. It was just cash. Welcome to America. I don't know if Elon Musk is as smart as Frontman.
No, that's true. He's definitely not as skilled. Like Homeboy could not do the spinning top with either hand.
No. I also don't think that Frontman would like make fake accounts on.
That's true.
Twitter to promote himself.
Young Ill on Twitter.
I guess, but Young Ill isn't going around like
the
front man is such a cool guy, everybody. He's such a good
That would be so
father.
cool. That would be so fucking funny if he was like, the guy that runs this game is really cool. Like that fucking SNL sketch where Kylo Ren does Undercover Boss.
Yeah.
I heard Kylo Ren is shredded. Like, that shit's so funny, dude. He should do that. Oh my God.
That would be really good. I feel like that's an SNL sketch waiting to happen.
It is.
I feel
it truly is.
I feel like they should do that.
But thank you, Kim and Landon, for the email again. And if you want to be like Kim and Landon, you can email us at squidboyssbq@gmail.com. And I will say, we do have another email, and we're holding it till next episode, and it's an insane email. So I'm really excited to read it to you guys.
I'm very excited.
Yeah.
And then I have breaking news. I mean, this is not even... Thank you. This is not even 24 hours old. This happened last night, okay? Last night, Netflix posted a teaser short on YouTube for Squid Game Season 3 and instantly pulled it down.
Really?
And the reason for that is because in the description, it said, watch Squid Game on Netflix on June 27th.
Oh.
So it sounds like Squid Game Season 3 could be releasing June 27th, 2025.
Well, and they had there had been speculation that June was when it would be released already, but we didn't have a date, and so that's interesting.
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's coming pretty quick.
We'll see, but I mean, it sounds like it's, the fact that they pulled it down immediately is like, okay, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it could change, right? But like, at least at this point, that is the release date.
Yeah.
So wow, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
I'm very excited.
Squid Game summer, Last summer was Brat summer, now it's Squid Game summer, Squid Boy summer.
Oh, I don't want to think about that.
Squid Boy summer, here we go.
Yeah.
Ganbu summer.
I'm much more down for Ganbu summer.
Yeah, I mean, we could have a Ganbu summer, Sean.
I mean, we kind of are going to be having a Ganbu summer.
We always have a Ganbu summer, me and you, know?
That's true.
We're always Ganbuing it up. So you want to get in this episode?
Yeah, I mean, if we have to.
This episode is titled XO.
Yes.
Clearly the two different ways you can vote in this game.
It's titled OX.
Oh, well, shit. Okay. I didn't write it down, and there's a Fall Out Boy song called XO, and in my head I was like, that's just what it is. So it's OX.
Yeah.
Sorry out there.
Well, it was different in the dub,
what, chat?
right?
You can cancel me for that if you want, okay? It's just my opinion, all right?
Hey, chat, are we cooked, chat?
Yeah, we might be cooked.
In the dub, it's XO.
What?
In the dub, it's XO. I'm trying to help you out here.
You're joking. Oh, I thought you were being serious, and I was like, man, that's crazy.
No,
Why would they change that?
Oh, no.
You fucking got my ass. I was like, wow, I'm right in English. So we pick up this episode right where we left off. We are playing Mingle. The song is just catchy as hell, and I know I mentioned that last episode, but the way that the song is played, because they're in this gigantic room, and the way it kind of echoes, especially when there's not the singing, it's just like the melody of whatever instrument that is. It's pretty haunting, actually. And the more the game goes on and the more people die, the more haunting it kind of gets. But I love the song. We start off, and the game is pretty much exactly how we kind of thought it went, Sean.
Mm-hmm.
Like when we discussed it, because we weren't sure, but it's like, hey, gather a group of people, get in the door within 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So kind of like
What's also crazy though is I was also not that wrong with my crazy theory,
which was
they're
gonna shoot people. Well, no,
they were gonna have to kill each other inside, and that happens.
Yeah, sure. So it's kind of like musical chairs in a way, but if you had to get people together. So the first round, they just yell 10 players, and then it's 30 seconds. So our two teams from the last game, the Gihan's team and then the team of Misfits, all 10 of them get together, and they drag the shaman lady in. And they make it into a door pretty easily this round. Whoever doesn't make it just gets gunned down. And Gihan, there's a slit in each door, and he's like watching people get gunned down, and he looks horrified. And the front man is standing right next to him, kind of like staring at his reaction. And the face he makes is almost like a face of like, yeah, you're starting to fucking get it, aren't you? You know, like a face of like pleasure. So I think your theory that he's trying to convert him a certain way, I think is holding up pretty well here based on this episode.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of like I don't know. I think that's an interesting narrative road to go down. So I'm really into it.
The shaman lady notices Junhee, the pregnant gal, and looks at Gihan and goes, "You lived a lot longer than you were supposed to, and now I understand why." And says something about him having a destiny, and then she looks at the pregnant woman.
Yeah.
And this is like some very like JRPG fucking shit, like coming into this. And she might just be crazy, but like I don't know why you write that in this show if you don't plan to pay that off in some way.
Yeah, she looked at Gihan and was like, 7 seconds till the end.
Yeah, exactly. It was some fucking Sephiroth ass shit.
It's like, wait, what?
So I that was intriguing to me. I'm
gonna I thought it was interesting when she said it, but then the game is so intense that I kind of ultimately really forgot about it.
Right.
And so yeah, that is interesting. I don't know what that means.
Right. To me, if that's just a red herring, I don't understand why it was there. There's got to be something to that. They're cleaning up between rounds, and there's a player who's eliminated but still living, and they look back to number 11 like, hey, are you going to shoot him? And she doesn't. She leaves him, and they are sending him for organ harvesting. We get to the next round, and Thanos and his pal are high AF.
Yep.
They're ring around the rosy to the song, and the next round is 4 players. So our misfit team immediately leaves the shaman woman.
Yep. Well, it's great. The shaman lady gets like pushed away.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, they're just like, yeah, we just grabbed you because we needed 10. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Thanos kicks Gong-Su, who is one of their crew of their 5, out, and they sprint into a door. The front man goes, hey, you guys go, I'll find other people to be with.
Yeah.
Which is pretty interesting. Gihan is overly concerned about him. Like, he's definitely developed a friendship with this guy.
I think it's also... I think Gihan has like a... I think he's trying to make up for the first game where he had his crew, or not the first game, his first time in the games, right? Where he had his crew of friends and fucking none of them lived.
Yeah, no, for
sure.
And
I think that is part of, I feel he's way more protective of his crew in this time around. And I do think it is him trying to like in some way make up for what happened his first time there.
I do agree that they're drawing some parallels there, but I also think if it was Daeho, I don't know that he's as concerned. You know what I mean? Like maybe Jungbae, because Jungbae and him have been friends for a long time.
Yeah.
Probably Junhee because she's pregnant and he wants to protect her.
Yeah.
But like if it's Daeho or somebody else that just happened to be in their group, I don't know that he's concerned because I think he does, I think him and the front man, he doesn't know he's the front man, but they've become pretty good friends during this time.
That's true. Yeah. I guess I just don't know how much Gihan is frontman's like friend.
I don't think frontman thinks of him that way. At least
no, but I guess I don't know that Gihan is attaching to frontman the way that he attached to like Ilnam.
Maybe no, for sure, but he's more guarded as a person now. But maybe friend is the wrong. He definitely respects him, right?
That's true.
They get into arguments, and stuff, but they definitely have a lot of respect for each other, or at least one of them is feigning respect. But Gihan, I think, is pretty genuine in it.
Yeah, I think frontman respects Gihan.
I don't know that.
As a winner,
I don't
right?
know that frontman respects anybody.
I think he respects Gihan as much as he would respect a winner,
how
right?
could you run a game like this and respect anybody?
Okay, well, yeah. I mean, that's the like. Obviously, frontman is a psychopath, but
Right.
in terms of what he feels, I think he would say he respects Gihan.
Yeah, but
even
he's
if
wrong,
that's
'cause
not
he's a-
necessarily
he's
true.
a psychopath. He's nuts.
Yeah,
Like Thanos doesn't respect anybody for real. I guess 001
But I also don't
probably-
think Thanos would say that he respects anybody.
Yeah, that's true. Speaking of him, they get in the room and he goes, "Where's Gyung-soo?" Because he's so high off his gourd, he doesn't remember that he chose not to bring Gyung-soo with them.
Yep.
Kicked him. There's also a group of 3 during this point that hides in a room, and they're like, "I don't think they noticed," and they go in and gun them down.
What a terrifying.
Yeah. So we get out of the next round, and Min-soo is freaked because he saw how flippantly they treated Gyung-soo, and he sees the blood on the ground, and you can tell he is not doing well. We cut to the player 11 is watching the dad of the little girl again, and they've shown that multiple times without any real anything happening with that. They haven't really done a ton with that.
That's been really interesting to me. I think that might be one of the only parts of the season that hasn't really been working for me so far, just because we don't really know him at all.
No, I believe we get to know him a little bit here because he ends up teaming up with our crew later.
A little, but even that's just he briefly teams up.
He actually speaks for once. Which, we haven't had since probably episode 1.
Yeah, or 2. 2 is when he was introduced.
Episode 2. You're right. Yep. The shaman lady made it, and that you can tell that is going to come back to haunt them.
Yes.
Young Il made it, and he makes a comment about how he's a pretty friendly guy, so he tends to do well in games like this.
Do you think he even played?
No, not a chance.
Okay.
Not a chance. I think once he realized he didn't want any of those people to like die because he wants to continue what he's doing, he just kind of ran off to the side, and they let him. Yeah.
He was just like, "Hey guys," he went to the guards. He was like, "How's it going? I signed your paychecks."
Everybody is very happy he lived, though. Like everybody really likes him.
Yeah.
Which,
I mean, he's he's a charismatic guy.
Well, and that's the thing is like that's how you describe some of the best sociopaths. You know what I mean? They're very likable people until you get under the surface.
Yeah.
He makes a funny pregnant joke. Hey, if the next round's 6, we don't have to get anybody else.
Yeah.
And everybody they got the whole squad laughing with that one. Next round, 3 players. And so we immediately start with Thanos' group, and they say, "Hey, you two have to play, Kyrie and Min-soo have to play rock, paper, scissors." And she's kind of like, "Fuck that," and holds her hand out and goes, "Let's go together." Sunmi does Min-soo, I don't know, I reversed his name there. Min-soo holds out his hand like he's doing scissors, which is a dastardly move. And so
what a moron, dude.
Yeah.
What
absolutely. He no longer deserves to be protected. I changed my mind completely in that one action.
How are you gonna fumble that hard too? You know?
Right, just go with the cute girl and find other people. What are you doing?
Especially when these other people are insane.
Right. Like, even if they're not, even if these are all right guys, go with the cute girl.
No, that's also true. I'd leave Mike behind for the cute girl, you know?
Sean, you would have already been dead. I would have fucking booted you during fucking red light, green light. What are you talking about?
You would have pushed me like fucking Thanos.
Thanos pushed you during red light, green light. While this is happening, the son gets grabbed by 2 guys when he's with his mom and pulled away.
Yeah.
And the mom's left. She's rescued by Gihan and the front man. So I want your opinion on this, because maybe it's slightly different in the sub. I don't know. To me, it seems like they pull him away and he tries to get back to her.
Absolutely. I thought it was very strange the way that they played this.
Yeah.
Because afterward, okay, I should try to. Maybe it's not strange. I'm trying to think about it. Well, I guess what I'm saying is I I'm trying to think if I'm not sure if so afterwards when they reunite, right? When they both survive and they reunite, I'm not sure if his being upset in that moment is because he feels guilty or if it's because he was just so freaking out. Because I don't know that he should feel guilty. Like he fought to like they forced him away.
I would argue that if it were me, like say that I was there with say I liked my mom for one, and then I was there with my mom, and I get grabbed like that. I think I personally fight a little harder than he did.
He does eventually give up. That is true.
But I do think that is him as a person. Like, there's a reason he's in the spot he's in life. And it's not, it's not because he doesn't love his mom. He's just kind of an apathetic person in general. And so I think he thinks he tried as hard as he could. And I think she thinks he tried as hard as he could. But we learn Frontman is trying to make a point to
absolutely
with this situation. And Gihan is very disturbed by this.
Yes.
And I think for two reasons. One, because he thinks it's crazy that the son would leave the mom. And two, he abandoned his own mom.
Yep.
And so he's sitting, like, they don't say this. They don't even hint at this. But I thought it was super well done and interesting the way he's just glass-eyed staring straight ahead after this moment because he's like,
yes,
I abandoned my mom.
Well, I think what's so good is, she stands up to Frontman and his BS, but it's like Frontman has been doing a really good job of manipulating Gihan this entire time to the point that it doesn't really matter that this point was struck down by her, right? Like, Gihan still, I think, takes this scenario the way that, that Frontman wants him to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, exactly. He doesn't see it as, it was an accident or whatever. He sees it as, wow, that guy abandoned his mom just like I did.
Yeah.
So after the round, does Thanos say skirt in the dub?
I don't remember.
Or in the sub?
I don't remember. I don't think so.
Well, he in the sub or the dub he goes, "What's up, family? Skirt."
I don't think so. I don't think he does that.
When he comes out of the room, it's pretty funny. Minsu notices Kyrie survived, and I like that I just call her Kyrie. That is not her name, but she is done with him. That he fumbled. He fumbled for sure.
Yeah.
And then here we get 246, the dad of the little girl, was with 95 and 120, and they're like, oh, he saved us, and they're all reunited with the mom, and she's like, oh, you're such a handsome man. He goes, no, they saved me. I didn't save them. And then we see young Sheik, the son, and he is, bawling. I'm so sorry, Mom. I can't believe I left you. I'm so sorry. And she's like, it's okay. And Gihan with the 500-yard stare here is telling. He's just like, I can't believe this motherfucker, but also you can tell there's that inner guilt from him. So we reset for the next round, and 6 players is what's announced, and they split up in a specific way. And the group that has 120, 95, mom and son, Daeho, and I want to say, there's someone, Junhee.
Yeah.
And they go into a room that's already occupied by number 100, who's like the old rich guy.
Yeah, he's kind of like the ringleader of the fucking assholes.
Right, he's the MAGA guy, and they run to another door, but number 95, young Mi gets tripped.
Yep.
And people don't realize.
Yep.
And 120 goes to go back, but before she can, 333, the YouTuber, runs in and slams the door. And Youngmi is shot.
So I want to put a pin in this moment for something later on, but I want to talk about the YouTuber guy after a scene later on and just what we think of him.
What I want to ask you right now is, do you think he was right? Because the rest of the party kind of agrees that he was right. Do you think? I mean, it's tough to say based on like all the camera angles, but I would say he's right. I would say that Young-mi was not going to make it in time, even if 120 went out to grab her, and then everybody would have died.
I think if I was in his, what's difficult, and what I kind of wanted to talk about later is, does he mean any of the things that he's saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I think that in his position, right, my kid and the mother of my kid are in any sort of like, yeah, no, fuck it, I'm fucking closing. Like, I think he's absolutely right. Like, I think one of the things I've enjoyed seeing throughout this season, and it's something I want to talk about more widely later on to see it, like, if you think it's genuine at all, is how he seems to be trying to step up a little bit and, like, you know, protect his family that's in there.
Right. Yeah.
And whether any of that is genuine, I think, is up to interpretation based on a scene later on.
Right.
But
right.
I want to talk more about that later when we get to that. But with this specific one, I feel like I would have done the same thing.
You know, 120 kind of calms down a little bit because everybody kind of agrees, like, hey, like, he did save us. You guys wouldn't have made it back in time.
Mm-hmm.
And as they exit, he says to Jung-ho, like, Junhee for, hey, thank you for backing me. And she goes, hey, don't get confused. I just think you were right.
Yeah.
And then now we're at the final round, and there's 126 people left.
Mm-hmm.
And Jung Bae's like, hey, how many people do you think it's going to be? And without hesitation, Young-il, the front man, goes, it's 2. There's only 126 left. There's 50 rooms. There's 2 people per room. That leaves only 100 people. So you better hurry and get to a room. And this one's hard, it's hard to follow on purpose. Well, everything that happens here, you know, because they want you to be tensed up. Everybody kind of grabs somebody when 2 gets announced. Min-soo gets left behind by Thanos and his buddy. Jung Bae is running with the front man, and he gets grabbed by somebody. And this is the first time we see, like, really people being aggressive towards each other in this game. Because I think everybody kind of realizes, oh, not everybody's going to make it here. Even if they, you know. It gets very intense. Everybody who we know survives in the end.
Yes.
But Thanos kicks a guy in the balls to get into a room, which isn't the worst thing we're going to see, because what happens is Young-il waits for Jung Bae, basically. They throw one guy out of the room, and Jung Bae holds the door, and there's another guy in there. And so if there's 3 in there, they're going to die. Young-il immediately puts on a fucking sleeper hold on this guy.
Yep.
And starts strangling him. And at 3 seconds left, he snaps his neck.
Yeah.
In a moment where I immediately typed in me and Sean's DMs in Discord, holy shit. Because just with no hesitation, no remorse, just snaps his neck, and Jung Bae's like, oh, fuck. You know, like he saved, and that's got to be so conflicting because he saved his life.
Yeah.
Right? But he also just murdered somebody in cold blood right in front of you.
And Frontman has a look that he gives Jung Bae, and I'm curious what you think that look is, because I almost see it as him looking at Jung Bae and going, you're now a threat.
I don't know that I thought that, but I definitely thought, like, it was definitely a look of, hey motherfucker, see who I am. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to fuck with me, so don't tell anybody. He doesn't say it, but don't tell anybody.
But that's the vibe.
You don't want to fuck with me.
Yeah.
But I guess we're basically saying the same thing, but semantics.
Yeah.
So we cut to a scene where they show that they have the secret elevator in the. I don't know why they show this. We know this already. You know, if you watch season 1, you know that's how they got the bodies down there. I did have a question. I was thinking about this because they burn everybody in those coffins.
Yep.
So there is like some Korean like woodworking guy who just every so often they go, hey, can you make us 456 coffins?
Well, I mean, there's somebody's providing them branded Squid Game, like, or you know, branded whatever food containers and water bottles, and like there is a whole fucking like.
Do you think that this is like a company, like the Squid Game stuff is like they do this all in house, or do you think that like they outsource? I would think they do it all in house. I would think.
I would also think they do it all in house.
They're prepping for the games. They got a guy that builds coffins. You know.
Yeah.
I
would. I think logistically, I would think it's not shell companies, but I would think it's like different companies that are connected in some way to the games that they,
Yeah, like one of the VIPs owns the coffin making company,
like,
and one of the VIPs owns the food, and
or they own a company that owns a coffin making, like if we're thinking like if they own like a WB Discovery like type thing, right?
Right.
Like, or they own a Comcast or whatever. And I think that makes a lot more sense than like the people on the island being like, all right, it's time for us to make a bunch of coffins, guys.
I don't know. I mean, it'd be like seasons in your job. It's like, okay, this season I gun people down. This season I make coffins. You know? Oh,
and like the island would be out of forest at that point. I'm like,
that's true. Yeah, where are they getting the wood? Yeah, you're right. Are they painting the coffins? Who wraps the fun ribbons around them? There's a lot of logistics.
I think I want to be the one to wrap the fun ribbons.
Yeah, I think you would. I think you would enjoy that. So everybody's very demoralized walking up the Squid Game stairs, and Gihan is already kind of plotting like, okay, we need to figure out who's voting what and how many O's and X's there are, because we need to get the fuck out of here. And Young Il goes, so I guess we have to hope more O's died than we did. And he like kind of has this like look on his face of like he's really the mask is really starting to come off here, but no one's really noticing except maybe Jung Bae, right?
Yeah.
Because of what he saw.
And I think that's probably deliberate as well, right?
Yeah.
Is he's trying to push the point harder and harder.
Yeah. We cut to our boat boys for the first time in the episode, and they're using a drone.
A drone.
He says drone in the dub. Drone.
Okay.
So he
says drone. He says he puts a G at the end in the sub.
So he's just replacing the N with an M. And I like Wu being like, it's drone, not drome, okay? And he's like, I don't give a shit. So we set up the idea that they are looking for different things on the island. We cut back to the room, and Minsu made it, and Thanos and his buddy are like, hey, one more game, Minsu, man. It's so crazy how you turned on that girl. Like, you're the fucking man, Minsu. And it's just insane. We get our YouTuber pulling Junhee aside to talk about, hey, I want to start over when we get out of here. I want to raise our child. I did the math. And if we put our money together and pay off my debts, and then we invest in some futures and some EPTs, this will go very well for us. And she kind of is not happy, which I don't blame her. It's whether he's being sincere or not, I don't think matters.
Oh, it's still like it's he's got his problem.
Right, because he's still, it's just the same guy. Like, it doesn't even matter if there was sincerity behind Dalmatian coin or whatever he did. Like, it's a problem. And he's not proving to her that anything's changed,
Yeah.
And so she kind of is like, I'm going to use the money to raise our child. And leaves it at that.
Oh, wait, she says to raise our child?
She says, you want to use my money to help pay off your debts. I'm going to use my money to raise our child, is what she says in the...
That is... Okay, that's a terrible change.
Is it?
She says, I'm going to use the money to raise my child.
She says our child, but I don't think she means it... Like, the way they put it, it's not like she's saying our child is in we're going to raise it together. Because it's still... It's still... Like, I think the meaning's still the same.
I don't think so. I think that there's a like
the way that it's said, like the inflection, Sean, I believe it's the same because I took it the same way you're taking it.
Okay.
Like, you get what I mean? Like, because she said my child in the subtitles. She says, I'm going to take it to raise our child, like in a way where it's like, you don't care about our child. You don't care about me. Like, I guess, so I think it still works because, like, if it's in Korean, I don't understand the inflection, right?
Yeah, I think that I don't know. I think saying my baby and like totally cutting him out of it feels stronger to me. I would say I don't like that change.
And it might be, but I got the same exact meaning from it that what you're getting from watching it. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's a huge deal.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, this is the first change that's happened that we've talked about that I've actually disliked.
Yeah, for sure.
For the most part, it's been fine.
Yeah.
There was the one like questionable thing last episode, I think, that was like totally changed the meaning of a joke or something.
Yeah, but, there was a weird joke. Yeah,
but that's not a like important thing.
No. Thanos and I never remember his name. The guy I really hate. Notice.
Yeah.
This, and they're like, this guy's trying to get some action during the games. You know, what a sly dog. You know, like, and they take notice of that, which is important for later. The shaman comes up to the rest of the Misfit team, which also includes the dad of the Strawberry Hat Girl now, and curses them basically.
Yeah.
And you know, tells 120 she's going to be seeing 95 soon anyway, so there's no need to mourn.
Yeah.
You know, and she seems to have like kind of created a bit of a cult for herself. That the people behind her are very like on her every word. I don't know how she did that so fast because it basically happened during the game.
Yeah, so I don't know.
It must have just been when they were in the room together and she like convinced them like, hey, you should follow me because I know my shit. I don't know. It's pretty insane.
I really have no idea.
Gihan and Squad, they counted 55 O's or 56 O's, but then 55 not counting Jung Bae, who's going to change his vote. And there's an interesting exchange here between the frontman and Gihan where Gihan says, like, we should go try to convince some people. And he's like, well, we don't need to because there's definitely people that are going to change. And they argue pretty heavily about it. And then Young Ale says, if we do it now, it could incite violence. Is that what you want? And, you know, the other guys are like, hey, Gihan, I think he's right. I think most people, this is a lot more money now. I think most people will switch over. The people that want to keep going through the games, they're going to keep going through the games no matter what we say.
Yeah.
So
they don't know about the cult of the of the fucking crazy lady.
Right, which is like a huge crux of this episode here. We go back to the boat boys and they find a hatch. There's a lost joke in here somewhere that I haven't found.
There is. We'll get it eventually.
But they're going to go on foot to look at the hatch. Game results. We have about 356 million won a person now, is what they said. Or wait, no, is it 356 million? No. 356 million won a person with 100 people left. And we start the voting. And I'm just going to kind of note who switches sides here during the voting.
Yeah.
Because I think that's important. And obviously it starts with Gihan, and they make a comment about, hey, we will not tolerate any disruptive acts during this voting. Thank you.
Yeah.
The first one to switch sides is Kyrie. She switches to the no side. We cut to number 11 for a moment, where one of the guards that like cut her face open is like, hey, you should have teamed up with us sooner. We wouldn't have had to do that to you, you know. Keep up the good work. And it's kind of just a shitty comment. And I truly wonder what she's scheming, because she doesn't seem
I have no idea.
I have no idea, but she doesn't seem like the kind of person to just give up like that. So I wonder what she's got to have some kind of plan here. And
maybe wait for frontman to come back, and then it's like, you're fucked. Just turn the whole thing over.
He didn't switch, but I noticed that, or I took note that Thanos kisses the button when he votes, which I think
what a character.
Yeah, he is something. 185 switches to the no side. Min-Soo switches to the no side. Jung Bae during all this kind of has the energy that he had during the horse races in season 1. You know, like he definitely has like a gambling energy. We just need this many more. We just need this many more. Which I think is I very much enjoyed. 120 also switches to the no side. We cut back to the boat boys where they go to inspect the hatch and it blows up.
Yes.
So that's fun. And then later we'll cut to the fallout of that. Back to the voting. Number 15 switches. Number 7 switches. And so they only need one more after this. Well, they're supposed to win at this point if everybody votes the same that's left.
Yes.
And Jung Bae starts to look at Young Il, he does look a bit menacing here, and he's like, "Hey, Gian, I'm worried about him." And he's like, "What do you mean?" And he starts to tell the story, and one of the people who voted to leave last time has changed their vote to stay, and she kind of bows to the shaman woman. And so now the best they can do is tie, and it's up to Young Il. As he walks up, Daeho is like, "Young Il, you got this." And then Jung Bae starts to tell the story to Daeho again, but as he does it, he buzzes in to say he wants to leave, so he doesn't switch. But it takes him an awfully long time to make that decision. Like, he's definitely keeping people in suspense. And so they have a tie. And what does that mean? Well, that means they have to re-vote the next day. Take time to consider your position on this.
Did you, I was curious. I think about at a certain point, as I was, like, counting, I realized it was going to be a tie. And my immediate thought was, okay. Before they even said we're going to vote tomorrow, I was like, they're going to make them vote the next day so that they can kill each other in the night.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you had a similar thought.
Yeah, no, that was definitely my first thought, is that things are going to get rowdy. And even the way the guard says, take time to consider your situation, like the way he says it in the dub is like very like, it's almost like he's telling them, you're going to have to kill each other. We cut back to the boat where one guy is dead from the explosion.
Yes.
And another guy is hurt, but okay after some medical attention. And the boat guy definitely wants to go home.
Yes.
He says, hey, this guy's hurt. And they go, well, no, he's actually okay. And he goes, well, one of your guys died. And the head, like, kind of tactical guy is like, he won't rest until we find the motherfuckers that did this. And this is what Jip kind of hinted to when he said, hey, guys, look at this after episode 6.
There's a part of me, I think he accidentally just spoiled something.
You think so? That's what I was going to ask. Is Jip
I think it's something
idiot?
in episode 7, and I think he thought it happened
you think Jip's that fucking
in episode
stupid?
6. I really do think that he accidentally spoiled something. Because he watched the whole thing, like, in a day.
Jip, if you did that, dude, you're dead to me.
I was actually sitting here as we were going through the episode, and I was like, I really hope Mike hasn't read that yet, because I think that's a spoiler.
Well, my thing is, like, I just thought he missed something. I was like, what did I thought I missed something. I was like, what did I miss about this? That he's insinuating that. So if Jip said episode 6 spoilers and then spoiled episode 7, I'm going to strangle him.
I think he did. I think to the point, I would cut out reading his message from this. I guess you'll have time.
I want him to know.
I mean, keep all of this in, but if we watch episode 7 and it turns out that is a spoiler, I would cut out the actual content of the message from the episode. Not that he spoiled something, but what the spoiler is, because...
Oh, I see what you mean.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, so we don't spoil it for other people.
Yeah.
So we're not pulling a Jip.
Because I think Jip spoiled it.
I'm going to strangle this motherfucker. What do you...
I was sitting here, though.
Dumbass. How do you not notice? What a fucking piece of shit. How do you not know? There's no way that... No, there's
I think
no
he
way.
spoiled it. I think he spoiled it.
I think... I can't even say what I want to say now, because if it is a spoiler, I'm talking about the spoiler again. Oh, if that's what happened, Jip, I'm sorry, brother.
Meet me at Reconnect.
Oh my god, what a silly little guy he is. They're gonna stay and they're not gonna communicate using cell phones anymore. We cut back to the room where they're feeding everybody, and Gi-han and Jung Bae are walking, and Gi-han's like, hey, what were you trying to tell me earlier about Young Il? And he goes, and he kind of looks at Young Il, and everybody's like enjoying his company, like he's made to look like this like cool guy. He goes, it's just this place. We just need to get out of here. They go sit down, and suddenly Young Il's stance has changed on hey, we need to convince these guys, like Gihan said. When before he was so adamant about the fact that it is going to incite violence, right? Mom is like, hey, this is shit food we're eating. This is all we've had. They're going to be so hungry tomorrow. We'll be able to convince them to like come home to get some good food. And her son goes, you know what? I'm going to do that right now. And he goes, hey guys, all we need is one of you to come over here, and then tomorrow we'll all go get some food, and I'll pay, and we'll have this. and nobody on that side reacts the way they want them to. They start, like the older guy's like, I'll go buy the whole ranch where they get the beef after you guys die, and it starts to become a very not stable situation. People start making fun of 333 for saying he's a Marine, and they start to get in each other's face, and they very, very well shot. They all kind of stand across from each other in between where the lines are for the voting on the ground,
Yeah.
On purpose there. That's a nice shot. While this is happening, Gihan unrolls his food and notices there's a fork.
Yep.
So it's unclear, because I don't think we see anybody use a fork until later. Did everybody get a fork? Or did only certain people get a fork?
I think only certain people got a fork.
That's what I think too.
Oh, wait. Oh, no, they're all holding forks.
Who is?
I'm looking again.
Okay. So
Everybody's
everybody
holding
got
a
a fork. Okay.
Yeah.
Because
I think it's Gihan realizing what. Yeah. I'm looking. Everybody's got a fork, and they're all just brandishing the fork openly.
Right.
He's the only one that looks at it and realizes what the meaning is.
Yeah. That it's a weapon. Yeah. That they supplied everybody with weapons.
Yeah.
In the bathroom, Thanos and his buddy are harassing Minsu, who's hiding from them in a toilet stall, and he says, you still shouldn't have betrayed us. And it's just very Kingdom Hearts. The voice actor almost sounds like Zigbar saying it.
Yeah.
It's real crazy. And he tells this story to him, trying to appeal to him about how he was going to go commit suicide. When the guy came up to him to play Dachi, and he said in this dub, he says, I don't believe in the religion, but it was like a divine intervention.
Yeah.
It was a way for me to make good, and I don't mean to freak out, but when people get in the way of that, it tends to make me go a little crazy. He starts yelling at him. And it's funny because it's almost like this glimpse into like how he's actually a human being as opposed to the psychopath, and then he just deletes that from our reality real quick.
Yeah.
The YouTuber steps in. Hey, like, leave the guy alone. And they face off, and then he starts to pull it. We start to have gang wars, basically.
Yeah, the war begins here.
Right. Hey, X's, these O's are trying to convince him to and he goes, hey, O's, these guys are trying to attack us. They're just making shit up.
Yeah.
And they all kind of face off in the bathroom.
Well, hang on. Thanos is making shit up.
Right, that's what I said.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying they are making shit up. I was like, no, the YouTuber guy is telling. Yeah, they were trying to convince that guy to change sides.
Right. No, I don't. I meant the O's were making stuff up.
Yeah.
And my question for you, Sean, is: say you were one of the O's, and you had the mindset of you wanted to stay, and you see this purple-headed fuck who has been nothing but like a fucking spaz the whole game, right? And he goes, hey, guys, these guys are doing some fucked up shit. You should come back me up. Are you backing him up?
See, and
I think okay. I guess the question is, can you be a logical person if you decide you want to continue to stay in this game, right? So maybe everybody on that side is a psychopath, right? But to me, like, I'm just like, who's backing this guy up? Like, even if I'm
morons.
I feel like even if I'm on that side, I'm like, fuck this guy. I'm not gonna fucking fight somebody for him. I'll fight somebody. I'm not fighting for this fucking guy. It kind of breaks into a fight when they start to talk about Jung-hee and how she's pregnant. And then he says, "Hey, I'm gonna, if you vote X again, I'm gonna cut off your sticky finger and give it to your girl, and then I'm gonna make her my bitch or something like that." He says.
Yep. Pretty much.
And that's when he swings and the fight begins and they struggle. And Thanos definitely gets the best of the YouTuber here.
He flips him. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like a snapmare takedown. It's like a crazy move. You can tell he's been in a few fights before based on that. And maybe our YouTuber guy, MG Coin, has not.
Yeah.
And he's strangling him, and you can start to see the life fade a bit until he stabs him right under his chin with a fork, which hell of a stab, I feel like.
Yeah.
You also, you need to hit the right area there.
What a moment.
Yeah. Yeah, a great way to end the episode, just like very striking and very like, it's very intense the way it builds from when Gihan notices the fork on. Right?
Yes.
And I really enjoyed that. And that's the episode there. And we have one more left, Sean.
Yes.
And we haven't watched it yet. We made a choice to not watch ahead on this one.
I'm very, very excited.
I wanted to watch ahead. Full disclosure.
I'm sure you did. I did too.
And Jip, if you fucking spoiled something, I'm coming for you, man. I got a fork, all right?
Okay, he posted it in the podcast channel, not in the channel where he was posting his live reactions to things happening. And he posted it after episode 1 came out where I said it. So I think he was just reacting in the moment to something I said on the podcast and didn't think to be like, what episode did that happen in?
I'm going to do that snapmare takedown that Thanos did to Jip.
Yeah.
Next time I see him, I'm gonna take him down. Any other ending thoughts on the episode, Sean, at all?
There's a line that we kind of skipped over, and maybe it's because I don't know if it's the same line in the dub, but when the kid or the son is about to go vote, the mom goes, "If you pull some crap again, I'll hang myself right here."
No, she says that. She says that. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Because he voted the other way last time. If you pull that again, I will hang myself. I swear to right in front of you. I swear to God, or something like that.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, I won't. Yeah. No, that's a good line too. Yeah, man, great episode of television. I'm loving this season. I think it's very intriguing. I think we're not going to get the answers we want from episode 7.
No.
Especially based on, hey, this sounds like in June, season 3 is coming out. This definitely seems more like they split a season in half as opposed to like these are two. I mean, they shot them all at the same time. Like it's definitely that move.
Yeah.
Netflix
absolutely.
wanted to create 2 individual moments instead of one big moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, who am I to say if that's right or wrong?
I am. Fuck you.
Oh, boy. All right. Anything else about the episode, Sean, you got?
No, that's it.
All right, man. Where can people find you?
You guys can follow me on Twitter at Sean_AFK.
And you can follow me on Twitter at SpikeGhetti Bros and on Twitch at twitch.tv/Super SpikeGhetti Bros. And that's going to do it for this episode. We'll see you guys for episode 7. Sean, I am agreeing unanimously to end this podcast.
Wait, you're unanimously?
All 3 of my personalities.
I also agree.
All right, bye, everybody.
Bye.